Hello and welcome to this screencast. This is part 2 of creating deadlines to appear on the home page in this table here. And in the last screencast I had talked about how to create one like place and placelessness here, say that 10 times fast, that clicks through to the actual website. But what if you wanted to create a deadline that links to a PDF such as we have done here? Okay, so the first thing that you would do, I'm just going to walk through how to do that quickly here, is make sure you're logged in with system administration privileges here. You would navigate to the contribute section and you would create content. And if you have system administration privileges, this deadline option will show up and you should select that. And for this demonstration, I'm going to use the Canadian Science and Technology Historical Association Biennial Conference here that takes place between the 18th and 20th of November 2011. Oh, it looks like the deadline here for the call for papers is actually the 31st of August 2011. Okay, so we'll note that in filling this out. Okay, so I just had highlighted actually over here back in the tab where I had shown you the call for papers announcement. Highlighted that with my mouse, Command-C to copy, navigated back to this tab, and Command-V to paste, and that's Control-C or Control-V on a PC. Okay. Now the link is going to be to the PDF if in fact that is what we want our site visitors to click on and then be able to download the PDF associated with the call for papers. Okay, so you could do that in one of two ways. There's actually a link to a PDF there, but say we didn't want to rely on this site hosting that PDF, so we could download that if we wanted to our desktop. And I'm just going to download that to our desktop here. All right. And so that's the link, and we want that PDF to be when site visitors click on the link, we want them to have an option to download that PDF now. So we're going to have to go into our file attachments here, and we're going to attach a new file. Okay, so we're going to browse now our file system, and we'd save that on our desktop, and here it is. Here's the PDF. Just going to open that. All right. And then we're going to attach that. Great. Now, it doesn't matter if you list or not, but I guess we can go ahead and list. I mean, the actual view for a deadline is never really presented to the user. It's only the link on the home page that they're going to end up seeing, so this doesn't really matter. But anyway, you'll see that down below now we've got it's very, very small here, but if you copy that, if you highlight that with the mouse and Command-C to copy, that is now a locally hosted link for that PDF. So that is now, we have taken that PDF and now it's part of the Venier site and it will be permanent. So now we've copied that, so we have Command-C or Control-C on a PC, and then we're going to Command-V or Control-V to now paste that link in there. Okay. Now, we had seen that the deadline for the call for papers, I believe, was August 31st, 2011. Okay. So that's what I'm going to select here in the from date. August, brain is like a sieve. August 31st. Okay, so let's select August 31st, and there it is. We don't have a to date, we just have a deadline here, August 31st for the call for papers. And I guess that was a CFP, so maybe we'll put that in there. Okay, so that's everything that we need. We want to check that our language selection here is correct for the content we've just authored. If this had all been French, we'd want to make sure that was French. But if we were viewing the French version of the site, that would probably be populated, or would be populated with French by default. Okay, So we can choose to publish this here or not. And just for the sake of demonstration, you know, the more complicated case is if we don't publish it here. If we publish it here, it'll just show up on the home page. But if we don't, we have to go elsewhere to publish it. And you may choose to just sort of queue up these deadlines without publishing them. You might want to publish them later for some reason, so I'll just illustrate that case. But it is simpler to just check published here and then save, and it'll show up right away on the home page. But let's not do that for now. Okay, so we save, and now here, this is that view that I say that the site visitor will never see, because when they actually click through a deadline, they will go to this PDF download, and this is kind of something that's really only visible on the back end of the system. So you can see the attachment is actually listed here because we didn't deselect list. If we had deselected list for our attachment, this wouldn't show up here. But anyway, it's all kind of beside the point because none of it is visible really to the site visitor. So now we know it's not published, so how do we publish it? So we've got to go to our content management content list again. And we have access to this beautiful menu if we are site administrators. Okay. So we see that the most recently authored content shows up at the top, but if we had authored a bunch of these deadlines and then some other things, maybe some featured projects, and you know what, and it had all been unpublished and this had gotten buried in the list of unpublished content, we could, oh, and actually we've already got something in our filter here. You can always see if this is bold here, type is deadline. We see we've got some, the listing is filtered, and so this is actually showing us all the published and unpublished deadlines. So that's actually not a bad view for us, but if we wanted to further restrict it to only the unpublished deadlines, we could refine it like so, and that shows us only the unpublished deadlines. What if we want to get rid of this and list all the content? We just reset our filter, and now you can see there's no filter description up here. We're listing all content at this point. So again, so let's just say that we want to restrict, or you know, say it's buried in there somewhere, unpublished deadlines. We just want to view what they all are. So we'll filter for type deadline, and there's all the published and unpublished deadlines, and we just want to make it easy on ourselves, only see the unpublished, refine. Okay, so now we have type deadline where status is not published. Excellent. And this is our call for papers. And we can see it's not published. So what if we want to publish it? Well, one way to do that, of course, is to click through and edit. And we can go down here and tick published and then save. Or alternately, we can go back to our listing there and we can tick this, and we can select from our update options, publish, and so here if you had 3 or 4 of them, you could just tick the boxes beside all of them and update. And now the update has been performed, and you know what? It's not viewed here because we've got our filter restricted to deadlines that are not published. So let's take the restriction of not published off. So let's just undo the most recent restriction. And there we go. We're listing everything of type deadline. And at the top of the list is our call for papers, Canadian Science and Technology Historical Association has been published. So if we go to the home page now, we should see it there. And I'm just navigating to the home page by clicking on the Venier logo. Okay, so here we are on the home page, and if we look at our deadlines now, we see that this call for papers is listed at the top. If we wanted to move that around, say we wanted to move it below the Imagining Gateways here, for example, how would we do that? Well, again, we'd visit our node queue. So we go into Content Management, Node Queue, list all of our node queues, and here's our node queue for deadlines, and we can view that. And there it is, our CFP. Now we wanted it below Venier Imagining Gateways, so we just grab this little handle here, and we just drag it below Imagining Gateways. And there it is. Just tap it to let go. And you can order this as much as you like, reorder it in whatever way you see fit. But now when we save this, it'll show up under Linear Imagining Gateways. So let's save that. And the queue has been updated. So now if we go to the home page, which I'm just doing by navigating, by clicking on that Linear logo in the upper left there, because it's nice and convenient. Now our call for papers is listed below Imagining Gateways. So that's the beauty of the node queue, and you'll note here that we only had a from date, so the deadline is listed there. It's not a range as these other ones are. And if we click on this, we download our PDF. And it's being downloaded from, well, in this case I'm using a development version of the site for demonstration purposes, but it would be downloading from linear.ca because we've now saved it on our own web host. Okay. But I'm actually not going to bother to download that. Okay, so that's really all there is to that. One other thing that I'll just walk through again, which I think I did in the last video, is I'm going to navigate to the node queue list again. I'm going to view our deadlines node queue. And I'm just going to underscore again the fact that I've kind of dragged and dropped or organized this so that all the French ones are below all of the English ones. And that's just a sort of sanity-saving maneuver so that you can see how you want all the English ones to be ordered, and they'll always appear in that order that you drag and drop them on the English site, and then the French ones will appear in the French order as you drag and drop them and display them here on the French version of the site. So for example, if we wanted to drag Association Canadienne above Colloque there, these are the only two French deadlines. They're going to appear in that order. I'm just going to save that here. So if we're looking at the French version of the site, oh, that's interesting. Promoted it all the way to the, oh no it didn't promote it all the way to the top, I got confused. Yeah, so Association Canadienne d'Histoire will show up above Colloque now on the French version of the site. So I'm just going to load the French site, and Association Canadienne d'Histoire is above Colloque. And if we go to the node queue list, deadlines, voir. Colloque is below Canadian Association. Colloque is below Association Canadienne. Okay, so that's how you order the node queues, both French and English. And that's, I think, all I have to say. Thanks for listening.